Remember, you are not a crust of bread. You are the whole delicious loaf. Insert your loaf of choice: pumpkin, banana nut, lemon loaf. I don't know what you like, but you are the whole loaf, honey. Hi, everyone. I hope you are all doing well and having an amazing day. Today, I would like to talk to you about a quote I came across in Letting Go by David Hawkins. I really love this quote. When I first came across it, it definitely opened my eyes, and I really wanted to share it with you today, whoever happens to come across this video. Here is the quote: if we feel we are only worth a crust of bread, then that is what we will get. I know this is kind of random because of the bread component, but I think this is such an amazing analogy, such an amazing metaphor for life. And this quote in particular has everything to do with guilt, because guilt is the emotion that keeps us feeling small. It keeps us feeling unworthy and like we don't deserve whatever it is we want in life. That can be a whole range of things if we look at our life, and if we're coming from a space of guilt, an emotion of guilt, then it really does us no service. It is actually quite harmful to our overall mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. That's what I find so incredible and mind-blowing about this. You hear the emotion guilt and it's an emotion, like what's the big deal? But what's so fascinating is everything else, all of the other things that come with guilt. Guilt is a form of self-punishment. When we feel guilt, we are essentially rejecting ourselves. And Dr. Hawkins also explains that when you are in the emotion of guilt, you can also be in a state of wanting to punish yourself and wanting to punish others. Actually, could be either or. So you could be in a space of you're punishing yourself or you're seeking to punish others on some level. Now, this could, of course, be on an unconscious level. You may not even realize that when you're in this state. This has everything to do with knowing our self-worth. So we need to know that we are worthy. We are good enough. We need to release any smallness that we have about ourselves. It's literally not doing us any good, and it is keeping us small, and it is keeping us in a negative space. Guilt on the emotional scale is second to last. Shame is considered the lowest emotion. When you are in a state of guilt, your energy is incredibly low. My advice to anyone who may be feeling guilt is to let it go. It's okay if you feel guilt. Do not feel bad about that. It's a completely normal emotion. And if you're human, guess what? As humans, we are bound to experience this emotion. But as adults, or whatever age range you are in, more than likely adult, but as adults, it is our responsibility to heal ourselves and to release all of the nonsense that we may be operating under. No, you are not worth a crust of bread. You are the whole entire delicious loaf. So let go of that smallness and tap into your greatness, tap into your full potential. And that is going to happen once you release all of the guilt in your life. Let it go. Do not let it keep you stuck and keep you in a state where you are unconsciously punishing yourself. Hell no, we don't want that. We do not need that. It is so important to know that if we hold in mind that we are small and unworthy, then other people are going to treat us accordingly. They will essentially treat us as if we are small and unworthy. Now, I don't think this is actually going to happen with every single person we come across, but I do believe that when you come across the wrong people, essentially, they are going to take advantage of this. They could essentially try to manipulate us. Another important component to guilt is that if we hold in mind that we are small and unworthy, then other people are going to reflect that back to us. Other people are going to have the attitude of this person is small and they're unworthy. It's not a great thing to hear, but I think it is so important to know this. It's better to have this information than not be aware of this. On an energetic level, other people will pick up on how we feel about ourselves. Just think of the opposite. Think of someone who holds themselves in a very high regard, someone who has high self-esteem, someone who is there for themselves, is positive, and you just know that a person who has high self-esteem, self-confidence, and knows their worth, no one's going to try to mess with them really, because you're not going to get away with it. That person is not going to tolerate that in their life. They will not tolerate people who are trying to put them down and keep them small. Another really important reason to know how we are presenting ourselves. How are we coming across? Are we letting that smallness and that unworthiness essentially come through? Are we letting that smallness and unworthiness? Of course, not everyone that you come across is going to take advantage of you or maybe see that, oh, I think this person is small and unworthy. That's not the case, of course, because other people can have compassion and can maybe understand that, hey, this person may be going through a really tough time, or just come from a more understanding perspective, a more aware perspective. But for people who aren't coming from that place and see that low self-esteem, on some level see the smallness that you carry or that you perceive within you, the wrong person is going to take advantage of that, and no one should have to go through that. No one should have to tolerate that. So I think it's just another reason to release the guilt, release the smallness, and to really tap into self-love and to know that you are worthy, you are more than enough. And if you happen to feel guilty, of course, it is a completely normal emotion. We have all been there in our life. If you haven't ever experienced guilt in your life, it's low-key a red flag, because I think there's a study that says that sociopaths or psychopaths, if I'm not mistaken, guilt is an emotion that they lack that, and it doesn't register with them. So it's just that's kind of a plus sign about if you have, okay, I'm not trying to encourage you guys to have guilt. That's not the point of this video. So please, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you are not a crust of bread. You are the whole delicious loaf. Insert your loaf of choice: pumpkin, banana nut, lemon loaf. I don't know what you like, but you are the whole loaf, honey. You are not the itty bitty crumbs or the crust. Hell no, that is not you. We are priceless gems. We are rare diamonds and rubies, the most glorious and glimmering emeralds. We shouldn't care what other people think about us. We need to focus on what we think about ourselves and basically release any limiting beliefs, any limiting emotions or thoughts that keep us feeling in a state of guilt and smallness, because guilt runs deep. Guilt has so many negative consequences that go far beyond feeling small and feeling guilty and feeling a little bit negative and down. Oh no, it is insane. The psychological, emotional, physical components that guilt carries, it's so incredible. I can't really even, I do understand it actually, but it's explained very well in Letting Go. But this is why I just want to keep this pretty basic and simply explain the reason to step out of guilt and step into love, step into forgiveness, step into you being the whole loaf. You're not no crusty crumb or whatever. Hell no, you are the whole entire beautiful loaf of bread. Now I am really wanting to eat bread. It's ultimately a choice. We don't have to accept that guilt is just who we are and it's a part of, something that defines us. Because if we do that, it's not serving us. It's really just keeping us stuck, and it's not fair to us. Release anything that keeps you feeling like you are rejecting yourself and that you're not enough, because You are more than enough simply because you're human, simply because you're here on Mother Earth. That's it. Drop the mic. No other explanation is needed for your worthiness. And I go back to you are priceless. You are the rarest rose, like Paul or Vinny from Jersey Shore said. I believe that's what they said. You're the rarest rose. You are the rarest rose. And so know this. And I did not think I would make a Jersey Shore reference in this video, but we're going with it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate anyone who comes across this video and takes the time to watch. You're amazing. And if you received any benefit from this video, please subscribe, because I definitely plan to upload different topics about self-development, psychology, spirituality. I definitely want to make it my goal on this channel to share anything that could be useful to other people and that could just aid people in any way. That's the purpose of this. It is... Oh, my dog. It is so... If we hold in mind that we are small and what?